Hello and welcome to part 2 of our webinar, Clearly Communicating Business Success, presented by Nextiva. I'm your host, Katie Bavoso from the Channel Company. My guest today is once again, Ronnell Richards, entrepreneur, consultant, and business coach. Welcome back, Ronnell.
Hey, Katie, it's good to be back. I got a jacket on now.
You do. We almost matched. Yeah, thank you. It's so good to have you back. I loved our last conversation. I'm really looking forward to this one. So, Ronnell, for those who haven't seen part 1 or just need a refresher, a reminder, you've been working in the channel for 20 years. Please tell us about yourself, your profession, and your history in the channel.
Yeah, so Katie, I can't remember the month. It's been so long, but 2001 when I did my very first channel deal. And man, I'll tell you what, it was a very different world at that point. We were selling long distance and this emerging technology called T1. Anyway, over those last couple of decades, I've started multiple agencies. I now consult agents and I consult other technology companies on channel strategy and try to help people be successful by sharing my truth, the things that I've learned over the years. I share the things that I've done well, and more importantly, the things that I've messed up, because that's where we really learn the most. So I'm really stoked to be here with you again for this second webinar, and can't wait to share some nuggets.
I'm very excited for those information nuggets. So thank you again for being back. Let's get right into part 2 of our topic, Clearly Communicating Business Success. First of all, SMBs need a lot from their managed service provider and solution providers. As a solution provider, how do you choose a partner who will meet these demands?
During our last webinar, Katie, you had mentioned how important solution provider, that term is now, more important than it ever was before. Now we are truly, or you need to truly be a solution provider. So in terms of how you choose a solution provider, you really need to choose someone that looks at your business as a whole, right? I think that traditionally, especially in the channel, agents were focused on one particular area. You're the telephone person, right? Or you're the data person. Well, now we need to be the solution person in terms of understanding what matters the most to the businesses that we serve. We have so many technologies that are at our fingertips now that we can present to our clients. And so, and this is, again, as we talked about in our last webinar, this is the baseline now. They're expecting so much more from us. And so a true solution provider needs to know all of the technologies that are out there, but more importantly, they need to know what matters most to that client and their business, so that we can provide solutions that help them to do business better, that help them to achieve whatever goals they have for their business.
Absolutely. And what kind of support should MSPs expect from their vendors? Because it's not always about those solutions. They need to be able to rely on them for that support along the way. What kind should they expect?
All. Any and all.
Period. That's it.
You really need to be willing to get into the trenches, really get into the trenches. And I'm seeing some great leadership in the channel in that respect lately with companies that are really willing to get in the trenches, provide support from a service standpoint, from a product standpoint, and literally make it easier for MSPs and SPs to go out there and sell products and services.
What about a solution provider that's just starting out in the channel? And of course, if they're doing that now, what a time to start. Where should their vendor partner journey begin?
Wow, what a great question. One of the challenges that I see, and this is something that I experienced when I first got into the channel 20 years ago. While we didn't have all of the solutions that we have now, we had a lot of choices in terms of companies that we could work with. I think at that time, I had dozens of agent agreements with different companies. And so what I learned is that can be paralyzing. When you have so many options, you end up not being as successful as you think that you will be or that you should be. And so what I learned through that journey, and it applies to today, and it can apply to anyone getting into this business, is to simplify it. So we have to find providers and work with providers that are able to not only provide a complete solution for our client, but are really willing to invest in us, right? So my advice to SPs getting into this business is don't try to have relationships with everyone. Find the right partners that are willing to invest in your success and help you succeed and can provide a great product and service for your client.
And that's great advice, Ronnell. And I do have more advice to ask of you. If you could just pick one word of advice to partners, to give to partners right now when approaching their customers about new technologies, what would that be? Because I know that conversation can feel very salesy and difficult. So what would you advise for them?
Oh my God. This, Katie, this is an easy one for me. Shut up. Shut the heck up. Ask great questions and listen. We get so focused on selling our widget that we get away from, again, what matters most to our clients, what matters most to our prospects. This is really easier than people think. It's hard, Katie, because we're focused on selling and presenting our widget. And when we do that, we're always focused on, what am I going to say next? Okay, I got to say this. No, what we do is we slow down and we just get really great at asking great discovery questions, right? So that we can understand what matters most to that customer. We don't go in with preconceived notions of what they need and what they don't need. We listen to them. And then we provide solutions that help them accomplish whatever it is that they need to accomplish. Half the time, the products that we're selling may not be directly related to what matters most to them. But when we understand what matters most to them, we can paint the picture on how we can assist through our product or service. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Talk less, listen more, and make sure that when you do talk, you're being actionable and intentional.
Yes.
Love that. Thank you, Ronnell. Let's move on to our next segment here. We've got to talk about Nextiva. So what makes Nextiva a great partner and how can it help businesses grow?
Well, now, again, as we go back and we talk about the things that I think are important for any solution provider to be successful, one, simplifying, right? Simplifying your approach. Don't have tons of relationships. Have relationships with companies that can provide great solutions, right, that meet the customer's needs. One of the things that I love about Nextiva is their SMB solution is phenomenal. Okay, yes, I know they have a tremendous enterprise product. I know, but that SMB client, those are the ones that are really struggling right now, right? And those are the ones that are needing to adopt great technologies that meet all of their needs. And so, what I really like about the Nextiva product is, and again, for those of you that have not watched Webinar 1, go watch Webinar 1. We talked about CRM being so important as a fundamental strategy. So Nextiva has created a product where it really is a true unified communication solution that includes a CRM component, includes all of these communication components that can help the SMBs to level up, and they provide that at a great price point. My introduction to Nextiva, it's been, probably a decade ago. And what I loved so much as an agent at the time was their willingness to get in the trenches with me too and provide the support. So they checked off two of those boxes that I mentioned previously in the webinar, providing a great solution and supporting me as the agent, getting in the trenches with me. That's what I've always looked for in partners. And I've had lots of channel partners and channel suppliers and carriers come into my office, and we have the same conversation. I say, okay, sounds like you've got a decent technology. Are you going to invest in me? And a lot of them say yes, but not a lot of them do that. And Nextiva did that.
And that's really the mark of somebody that you want to continue to partner with, where you know they're going to follow through. So moving on from there, Ronnell, this is a bit of a callback to Webinar 1, where we talked about the technology that businesses should be investing in right now. So a little bit like that, what technology should businesses be investing in for the future? And of course, how does Nextiva help those needs?
So again, as in Webinar 1, we talked about CRM. So unified communication platforms where we're able to communicate with, or rather businesses are able to communicate with their clients, however their clients want to be communicated with at all times of the day. Like this is the new world that we live in. So Nextiva solution is truly a unified communication solution that allows not just enterprise, Again, love enterprise, and a lot of our agents out there do great business in enterprise. There's a great enterprise solution, but allow that SMB customer as well, which is really near and dear to my heart because most of us are SMBs. Most of us in the channel are SMBs, but allow them to have those same sort of technologies, those same sort of services that the enterprise customer has, and allow us to be able to afford it. So communicating with them through whatever means your client needs to be communicated with at whatever time of the day they need to be communicated with. Because again, as we talked about in webinar 1, the game has changed. And what we expect, what our customers expect as a baseline is much higher than it was just in even 2019 in terms of how they expect to communicate with us and what sort of support, what sort of customer service, everything has changed, right? And so we need a platform, we need platforms that are able to provide our clients multiple ways of connecting with us and we can communicate with them in multiple ways. And that's what the next generation Nextiva platform provides.
Now, Ronnell, you talk about you've had 20 years experience in the channel. 10 years of that has been with Nextiva. So what is the opportunity for an MSP in becoming a Nextiva partner? Where is that opportunity that we may not be looking at hard enough?
Well, Katie, I'm going to go back to something I said previously in this conversation. I think that MSPs should be looking for partners that really want to get in the trenches with them and really want to help them to grow their business and that are helping to educate the people that are in their ecosystem, not just the people that work for them, but their clients. And that's what I've seen from Nextiva in the 10 years that I've worked with Nextiva is a willingness to get in there, work side by side, hand in hand, all working in the same direction, and not just with my team, but with our clients as well. So, and I have tremendous confidence in the great people that they have over there, that I trust them implicitly with our customers.
And Ronnell, what kind of mindset should partners be moving into the future with? And how is Nextiva in lockstep with that mindset?
Well, one of the things that I've appreciated about Nextiva, Katie, is that I told you earlier on that I pride myself in being someone that's forward thinking. I like to be ahead of the curve. And that's what I've always seen with Nextiva and the Nextiva team is they're always working on what's the next thing. Like, yes, this is cool, but what matters 6 months from now? What matters a year from now? And they're always innovating. And so for me as a partner, that's been invaluable to me because they help to educate me as well. So I'm able to learn through them. I know what's next and I can better advise my clients and my employees can better advise their clients. And so we can really maintain that trusted advisor status. That's what it's all about in this game. We have to be trusted advisors. And to be a trusted advisor, you really got to know your stuff. And so I appreciate that Nextiva is a company that helps us to do our jobs better.
Ronnell, it was so exciting to talk to you again. And thank you so much for being here. Your takeaways from this, your advice, really, really enlightening. So we all appreciate your time today.
Katie, thank you so much. And again, you are awesome to talk to. This was really engaging. You're very warm. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to do it again.
Let's do it again. Get it on the calendar. I love it. Thank you so much, Ronnell. And thank you at home for watching this webinar, Clearly Communicating Business Success, presented by Nextiva. If you'd like to learn more, visit channel.nextiva.com. Once again, I'm Katie Bavoso. Thanks for watching.